Art is a way of living. It's a necessity.
Painting is my therapy.
Art brings peace. Art brings inspiration. Art brings life.
Whatever it is you're making, it's a part of you.
It can be dangerous to not realize the power of your own mind. When I was younger, it was small things like, well, you gotta count these trees, or I gotta touch this doorknob a certain amount of times. And if you don't, then something bad's gonna happen. That was my anxiety, my OCD, gaining control over me, terrorizing me, constant fear. My name is Warren Styles Harvey, and I am a painter. You know, while I'm painting, I experienced anxiety, but I push through because I feel like I have to. I have to create. It's everything to me. When you deal with fear, you start to get very vulnerable to your own thoughts. Am I enough? Am I worthy? You get to a point where anything is believable. It helps me understand so much about other people. The things that hold me back and the things that scare me, so many other people are scared of that same thing. Even when I feel so defeated and I can't accept and love myself the way that I want to, I still have life inside of me. When you deal with fear so long, you begin to get desperate for freedom. All I need is paint. Sometimes I just kind of just flow and see where it takes me. I don't know where it's gonna go. I allow it to become whatever it's supposed to become. How that is expressed is all up to the painting. It's all up to the moment. It was a point in time where thinking about going to show my art somewhere and watching people, you know, accept it or not accept it, that's scary. Well, that's been a huge part that's helped me, is that people respond positively to my work. They help me believe in myself. The more I paint, the more I believe in myself. I've done some pieces where I actually held the painting and danced with it. It made me so happy that I created something like that, that it was just so much joy that I actually had to dance with the artwork. That's why people search for love, is that energy that makes them just want to dance. That feeling of just presence, just being here. The most important thing you can do in life is to truly understand yourself. It's kind of hard for you to know yourself and accept yourself because this world is constantly telling you who you're supposed to be. I'm grateful for my fear. I'm grateful for it. It has brought me to understand who I am. I'm light. I'm consciousness. I'm a spiritual being. That's who I truly am. We all are. I'm grateful because art allows me to believe in a bright future for myself. I've been able to dream because of my art. That's one reason I paint so much, is because I know it's healing me. Art is healing me. You can always go deeper into happiness, deeper and deeper into joy, deeper and deeper into peace, into bliss, into freedom, into abundance. There's no limit. We're limitless. I want people to look at my artwork and start to question their own definition of themselves. To inspire someone to see the light within themselves. That's beautiful. Everybody's life is a masterpiece.
As far back as I can remember, I was always making something small and try to manipulate the bits and pieces around me. I was maybe 5, 6 years old, taking mud and rocks and plants and making tiny little worlds. I'm Wolf Brack. What I love to do is small-scale work. And there's just an inherent intimacy to small things. My introverted nature, it's always been a part of who I am. I like focusing in on something small and just exploring that to the exclusion of everything else. A lot of my work, it's looking to figure out other people. I've always liked noticing people's quirks. It's like I'll be studying people's faces without realizing it. Sometimes I can learn things about people without having to talk to them. It could be bits and pieces, like this nose is interesting, or, oh, this cheek line does that. So when I do study faces or find myself noticing things about them, I may end up transferring it into one of these. These little faces, these little like snippets of identity. You put on a mask and you lose your identity, or you put on a mask and you assume a different identity. It strikes us on a pretty deep level. They started out as little African masks for someone else, and then I got interested in it. So I did some research and made a few that were maybe about an inch or two. And then I wanted to see if I could get it smaller and smaller and smaller. With small things, the closer you get, the more complexities you see. I want you to get up close and observe it and interact with it. It's kind of like I'm taking you, grabbing you by the face and drawing you into my world. Art is a way for me to communicate with people. It's like initiating play with a stranger, and I don't even have to be in the room to do it. But I've formed a connection with this person. You know, I've made them laugh a little bit, or I've interested them enough to stand still for a bit and just forget about the rest of the world and interact with this piece. You're taking your experiences and personality and manifesting them for others to experience. Whatever it is you're making, it's a part of you. I've always been fascinated by the craftsmanship found in nature. Nature is kind of where I find perfection. Patterns that repeat into infinity. I love nature, but I love architecture. Kind of like comparing the two. You know, if I've got a big round piece that from a distance may look like a cell or a diatom or something organic, and you get close up and they're buildings, you know, straight lines and ordered streets and things like that. You know, these little bits make up this larger thing, which makes up a larger thing, which makes up a larger thing. I think that's mirrored in the universe all around us. It's infinite. Just seeing the amount of variety within one type of organism, like cacti. There's so many variations, it just seems like it never ends. And then you take one variant and another one and cross them, and you get more variation. So it just keeps going and going and going. Round and round and round and around. Life is about details.
For me, darkness is a fear. The fear of the unknown, a pit of darkness, somebody hiding in the darkness, not knowing what's going to happen. My name is Angelica Sandoval.
I create creatures of light.
Growing up, I was not allowed to have a night light. We were able to have the hall light on. The light piercing through the cracks of the door frame. That was our night light.
There was inconsistency early on in my life. Being able to create and control that.
For me, light is comfort. Light is this sense of hope. Light is life. Art is a way of living. I just truly believe everybody needs it in some form or another. I'm not really classically trained as a ceramicist. If I were to know the rules, then I don't think that I would ever have experimented with what I'm doing. I just enjoy working with my hands. Porcelain slip is such a seductive material. It almost feels like velvet. It's this constant love affair that I've been having with porcelain slip for the past 15, 16 years or so. This material is a safe haven for me. When I'm working with it, I feel content. The sound of the dripping, watching the movement of the porcelain run down. It does bring some sense of comfort. At graduate school, I read a book titled Wabi Sabi for Artists, Designers, and Poets. And that really spoke to me at that time in my life. I felt that it guided me in a direction that I needed to go. Wabi Sabi is coming to terms with the imperfect, the misshapen, and the ugly. Allowing cracks to happen, anything that kind of warped in a certain way or caved in, and just accepting that. I always had a plan, and I always followed through. Wabi Sabi allows me to relinquish that control, be a little bit more free with the process. When I pour the porcelain slip, I have to let go. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and I have to allow that to happen. During some of the process, I don't even know, what's gonna happen or how the light is going to emit through the pieces until the pieces are fired. And that is also part of the joy of making them. I think that leads back into just accepting what's gonna happen. I fell in love with porcelain slip because it allows the light to shine through. Using the translucency of porcelain, my creatures are lit within. The light gives them life.
I turned 60 this past October. So I kind of struggling with that. I don't know. I can go upstairs, sit in my chair, and everything else just goes away. It helps me just go to a simpler place, simpler time. I'm Don Gore, and I'm a watercolor painter. For the longest time, I struggled with thinking of myself as an artist. I kind of always felt that you have to earn that title. Watercolor is my therapy. You know, I have so many different things inside, and that's my way of kind of getting whatever it is that's in my head out, and then I can move on. There's no right and there's no wrong. The secret is to just paint. Architectural subjects are, in a sense, what I meant to paint. It's what speaks to me. I worked as an architectural draftsman for a number of years. It was drawing by hand, you know, on paper. That work was precise and it's measured, and watercolor is not that. That balance is something I'm always searching for, always trying to find. How can I be looser and more free with the paint and the water and the brush on paper, balancing that with the precision that I want. This specific house is nowhere, but it's everywhere. I wonder a lot about what the houses were like when they were new. Who lived there? What was the family, the people that lived there? I've had a lot of people say some of my paintings, they remind them of their grandmother's house or their aunt's house. They feel a connection. I think people connect, relating somehow to what's in the painting. It evokes a memory or a feeling, an emotion of some sort. Just transport people to a time and a place. It's almost like every painting I do feels like an experiment to me. You just never know what's going to happen. You talk about the unknown. It was in November of 2016, my wife went in for a routine procedure. The doctor came out and told me everything went well with her surgery. We found a large tumor that was attached to her stomach. And the tumor was cancerous. She had to go through some treatments to try and shrink it. She had surgery to remove the tumor. We're in a good place and on a good road, but dealing with that uncertainty of life, you never know what's going to happen any given day. It kind of puts into perspective what is important in life. I need to take advantage of the time I have. My sketchbooks are very, they're precious to me. I hope my grandchildren someday, you know, have these books and have the paintings and the drawings, and we'll be able to look back and see, you know, places that I saw, certain periods of time. And I hope they can understand and appreciate and, you know, cherish those the way that I do. You know, I think those will help them maybe remember me. And maybe share, you know, with their children or grandchildren someday.